Hey everybody, welcome to another NGW Insider. I'm RDJ, or Jesse. I also got with me tonight three other guys here on the call. This is the first time we're going to do this many people on here. Our first episode, we had Formol and Scott, aka Dr. Summeroff. Scott's with us again. Hey, Scott.
Hello.
And we also got Flint, who role plays Vince Strife. Hey there, Flint. How you doing?
Doing good.
And last but not least, the Grand Poobah of Fed Wars himself, Lau. How's it going, Lau?
Hola.
Hola. So we're going to try to blast through this thing, you guys. We've got a pretty long outline to go through here tonight, and it's pretty late already where Scott's at. So we'll try to get this wrapped up in a hurry. It'd help if I stopped yammering. First things first, though, we're going to hit some news for Fed Wars. There's a lot of stuff going on in Fed Wars right now. July 1st is creeping up, which is the official release date of 3.0, according to Lau. How realistic is that July 1st release date, Lau? How are you doing on it?
Well, I mean, we're not going to get everything done, but we're gonna not. I got a list of stuff that I'll have knocked off by July 1st.
Cool. So everybody's looking forward to it. I know there's some people have been frustrated with some things, and other people have been excited about some of the features you've already got in. Overall, I think the NGW has been pretty happy with how 3.0 has gone, other than a couple of things with the engine and stuff that it looks like you've been working on. I know, Summeroff, there was some stuff you were hung up on. What was the last rant you had to me about 3.0 a couple weeks ago?
Oh, geez, which one? I've had a few. I don't know anymore. I pretty much brought them all up over the last couple of weeks.
I think the big one has just been wrapping our heads around how you make money in this new system. So a big problem with that, and I know the big money pit for the NGW has been our worker contracts. We made a promise to our workers when we switched over to 3.0 and Lau put in those region fees and whatnot that our workers were never going to lose money coming to work for us. We've held up that promise with every one of our workers, but man, we were spending a lot of money on contracts. So now, over the last week or so, Lau's come out with a announcement on the NGW discussion board that he got rid of region fees, and they're gone. I mean, it's not like it took them till July 1st to do it. They're not there anymore. So because of that, workers aren't going to have to be shelling out as much money to be appearing in events, which I think is a plus for everybody. Does anybody else have any thoughts on that?
I'm good with it.
You going to be good with it when we renegotiate your contract?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, honestly, I was happy with what we had first.
Yeah, when we first started the switch over from 3.0, our contracts were pretty low because we'd set them from 2.0 specifically just to give everybody a shot, and we were going to bump them as time went on. But the switch over to 3.0, the contract system changed how people were paid out relative to the contract, and all of a sudden what we had negotiated for people as their full-term contract was all of a sudden their weekly pay. So it was still, luckily for us, it was still pretty low because the NGW wasn't highballing workers. So we negotiated pretty quickly though to make sure we had people covered to cover those region fees. So yeah, now that those region fees are gone, I think we're going to probably here in the NGW do another contract renegotiation. Last time we did that, I know we lost a couple of guys, but I think pretty much everybody we have signed on now is quite a bit more active than the folks we lost last time. We'll do it a little bit differently. We'll be contacting you guys and setting up the renegotiation while maybe we're both online so it can just get done right away instead of just you logging on and all of a sudden seeing all your contract was canceled. We'll try to do it live. I think that'll work a lot better.
See, I got a request here, just Lau, for the July 1st date. Something I haven't brought up yet, but I just thought of now. The match alerts. You going to bring those back?
Yeah, that's something that I got on the list. If you looked in the Fed Wars discussion forum section, that board, you see that I stickied the alerts thread, so I don't forget about it. But I got it written down too and whatnot, so I'll have it probably. I was going to put it in today, but I did finish up on the forums, and I worked on the engine a little bit. But yeah, I'll probably knock that off tomorrow or within the next, before July 1st. I'll just put it that way.
Cool. Yeah. In the meantime, we've just been sending out our own personal alerts to you guys. Hopefully, you've been getting them, talking about what the events coming up. Trying to urge you to go check the card, make sure if you are or aren't on it. You should also be seeing your match pop up. Even if you don't have a match, you should be seeing the events pop up for the NGW in your profile page. So if you see that pop up, just check it and make sure you got a match or you don't have a match, or if
you do get an alert for when the event runs.
Yeah.
Like when it gets done, when it publishes, and when it runs and whatnot. You get an alert for that, but you don't get the alert yet for the when you get booked in a match.
Which is all well and good if you role played. So, all right, well, that works. Also, so hopefully we can get a little bit of clarification from you too, while we have you on the line, Lal, about the fan system and training moves. So, last time we talked, we weren't 100% clear on whether or not the moves were playing into the overall ratings of the matches yet. Has that been clicked on, or where's that at?
Yeah, no, not yet. It'll be before July 1st, but I'm still tweaking with it. It's not. It didn't turn out the first test run I did. It didn't turn out so well, so I have to go back to the drawing board and think of how I'm going. I got an idea that I base it around, but that first idea, the general plan didn't work out. So
Sure.
I got to go back and think of a better way to put that in.
Hey, well, as always, Lal, if you need us to test anything for you, we're here. We don't mind being the guinea pigs. You've done a good job of taking care of us and making sure that if we've had any concerns, they've been taken care of pretty quickly. So it's not a big deal dealing with issues and dealing with new with problems or when things pop up. When you have somebody on the other end of the website that is listening and actually cares about what you have to say. So we do appreciate you, Lal, being there to talk us through our breakdowns. I know I've had to talk Summer off the edge of the building myself a couple of times, so we do appreciate it.
Yeah, that said, get those moves done. I put a lot of the Fed bucks into my guys there. I want to see some results from these guys. Get those ratings up.
Oh yeah. I want to.
I can hear the. We got Vince on the line here at Flint. He's got the Kansas City Royals game going on in the background. Flint.
No, I don't.
We were talking before we started the show here. Flint has done us the favor of setting aside the Kansas City Royals games to be on with the Insider with us tonight. But apparently that only goes so far. Flint. Turn off the game.
I'm paying 100% attention here. I'm biting my tongue.
We can hear the game.
No, it's not on. I promise.
Mute it.
TV's off. There's a little red light. Not a green light, a red light.
Sure.
I promise.
Okay. Well, anyway, moving right along. Let's actually do a little bit of speculation here, a little bit of forecasting the future. Once 3.0, let's say 3.0 is done, Lau. You've finished the main backbone. All the important stuff is fixed. Vince, turn off the thing, dude. I can hear
off.
Yeah, I don't hear it. Maybe you're just hearing me coughing in the background here.
You know what's going to happen? I'm going to find out that it's playing through my damn.
Yeah. Now what?
It's made me sick.
Oh, now I'm going to sound like a doofus because I'll be talking about something nobody else can hear. I apologize, Vince. It was playing in my browser. I'm a dumbass.
I've got the freaking ESPN on.
Yeah. Nope. I blew it. I done blew it. Anyway, let's pick up where we left off. So Lau, 3.0 is done. The backbone's finished. You've done all the important stuff. The engine works perfect. You figured out the moves thing. Everything you hope to have done by July 1st is done. What are you most excited about trying to work into the system next?
The shop?
Yeah. The appearance. The thing that Ink T brought up.
Mm-hmm.
The appearance, being able to customize your wrestler, being able to go into the shop and buy equipment that'll then add a boost to your matches and whatnot, depending on the equipment you buy. So if you buy like, say if you bought wrestling shoes, it would increase your speed by 3% or something like that.
If you bought like the Iron Sheik boots there with the hooks on the end there.
No, that'd be a -3 speed.
Increase your force and power.
Yeah.
Your accent would go like +10 to accent.
Yeah, I don't know how that would translate in the engine though, but yeah, that's what I want to work on, a little bit of flash there, and that regions page. It's got to get put on a map. Put flash so you can click on it, and then you'd go onto the regions and see like detailed info about that. See what venues are in that particular region and whatnot. So.
Cool. Yeah, the only issue I could see with that is I know a lot of guys, a surprising number of guys are playing on their phones, logging in and checking things on their phones and whatnot. So I'd imagine as long as that's kind of an optional thing, you can go check. It's not part of the main browsing experience. It's just something you would go on and you could check out venues and you could get extra info and whatnot. I don't see that would be an issue at all. It would be a pretty cool feature.
Yeah, the appearance thing would be something that you would probably want to.
Oh yeah.
Do on your computer anyways, because it's probably going to take you 10, 20 minutes or even longer than that to maybe customize how you want your wrestler to appear. Because the plan is to have tons of options, so not one wrestler will look alike. So you'll be able to change facial hair, put on tattoos, skin colors, hair color, facial expressions maybe, and whatnot.
Cool. Yeah, that's not something he's working on yet. Right now it's still just in concept, right?
Yeah, he hasn't done anything yet.
Cool. Yeah, I've heard them talk a little bit about that. What is it, hero builder site or what have you? That's the general idea of being able to pick from a lot of different options and come up with something pretty unique.
Yeah, we'd have to get like a basic template or whatnot, like, and then have you and XXX and maybe and Ink T to go in there. You guys would be doing like, say, the graphics part, because I can't do that crap, and then I could go into Flash and make that all happen and whatnot.
Cool. All right, so you put on here, Scott, plan for the arenas. What did you want to ask Lau something about the arena system?
Just wondering if they're ever going to make Feds money, or if these are just money pits here. Besides the worker fees that you had referred to earlier, I think the biggest drain was the arena. That basically sucked up my entire VIP fund there.
Well,
I don't see ever making anything back off that.
Well, you should be getting some now off of your merchandise and all the stuff that you bought.
I can see. Well, I guess we'll see. I've seen in your test runs there's a $50 here, $100 there.
Well, the ones with zero, you just count out, because those were runs that those, or no, you shouldn't even. You didn't even get ones with zero, did you? Or did you? Yeah,
no, you did. They all made something once you turned that on. It just it cost $100,000 to build, and then probably another $100,000 to upgrade the stands.
It's not
gonna be a short-term investment. It's supposed to be a 10-year investment.
I don't know. I don't think the intention was to build it and flip it or anything. So
that's kind of where I was going with this. Or maybe you should add something like that in where I don't know, you can sell the thing or something. Get some kind of. I'm ready to get rid of it. The 15,000 maintenance fee, is that still on, or are you going to implement that, or is that
I might bring that down a tad.
Yeah, that might be good.
Or I'm going to end up not even put it in or whatnot.
Summeroff's going to lose his life savings here on that arena.
It might be something. It might be interesting to take that maintenance fee and maybe scale it based on the occupancy. Something that smaller arenas that are less likely to turn a large profit for the owners, aren't going to incur the same maintenance fees as something that the 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 person occupancy arenas that are likely to be able to handle a bigger gate and turn out larger concessions.
Mm-hmm. We just choose not to do maintenance. Just let the thing fall apart.
We just crap all the
NGW here.
And we got Isaac to be the janitor. Come on.
There you go. So let's see what else we want to talk about real quick. Let's touch on a couple of the other feds that are here are here in Fed Wars or were here in Fed Wars in the case of one of them. First off, so Kapow closed this week with the banning of HHL and some of the other guys on there that were pulling some shenanigans. Shenanigans indeed. So who did the Pony Fed close too?
Oh, thank God.
The Pony Fed. I just moved it to the inactive list. Yeah. For now.
I hear a lot of things. Back. I guess the gal that runs it could potentially come back. It wasn't. Yeah. She left about the same time, but it wasn't because of the 3.0, from what I understand. It was more having to do with some real life stuff. So, what I've heard is that there's a good chance she may bump back in here later on.
Yeah, I'm going to be, when the July 1st comes around, there's going to be a weekly Fed Wars email newsletter. So you're going to get spammed with Fed Wars email to come back to the site.
Good. I guess.
What? What's that?
Good, I guess. All right, yes. Spam.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be spam. It's going to be.
You just said it was going to be spam.
Yeah,
we're going to get spammed with Fed Wars emails.
Well,
I did just say that.
I know. I just said that, but I meant it sarcastically. Okay.
So what all are you going to have in there, Lau? What's the plan for info that we're going to get in our weekly Fed Wars newsletter?
Yeah, I haven't thought that far yet, but you're going to get news on the Feds, the latest features, what's planned. Telling you to come back to the site if you're not already here.
Penis enlargement ads, of course.
Yes, those will be right on top.
Excellent.
If you need an outline, RDJ's a pro at it.
Penis enlargement?
No, the outline. Needs an outline for the email.
Oh, both, but yeah, sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's not go down that road there.
Indeed. Probably a good plan. So, Kapow's closed. Pony Fed's inactive. You had mentioned in one of your posts too, Lau, that coming up here also on July 1st, you're going to start having the fans tick away of inactive Feds, leading to them eventually going onto the inactive list as well.
Yeah, the XP, not the fans will. The fans are going to change from, say, if you don't run a show in that region and you have fans there,
mm-hmm.
You're going to lose fans if you don't run an event in that region at least once every so many days or whatnot,
mm-hmm.
so many weeks. But the XP, it's going to be back to what it was in 2.0, where you have to be active every 3 days. Otherwise, you're going to get that loss. You're going to get that kick of XP off, which is 10,000 if you don't stay active. And it's simple to stay active every 3 days. All what you got to do is make a simple forum post in a spam section or something like that if you want to keep it fed. But
sure.
Is that for everyone, Lau, or just the people who are not VIP? Or
well, the VIPs, it still counts for the VIP, but their Fed's never going to expire. But their XP,
but they're still going to lose the XP, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I don't see that being a problem for us. We've got a pretty active Fed in that we get at least a post a day, so I'm not too worried about it.
You're usually the one who does it.
Yeah. Well, we had a couple of pretty popular games. We still have a couple of pretty popular games going on in the OCC section. That Countdown game's doing well.
We get some posts.
We ran out of wrestlers.
Yeah. We had a game we were counting alphabetically, or naming wrestlers or wrestling things alphabetically, and every time it hit a Q, it'd stall for 3 or 4 days. But that did pretty well. Video game alphabet. We had a couple good games that were going for a while that were getting us lots of posts, so we'll figure something out. We'll keep it going. Also here recently, Jaguar left the ICW. From what I understand, the guy was doing a lot for that place and opened up his own Fed and Prevail. Was it Prevail Wrestling Alliance?
Yeah.
Yeah. The site looks awesome. I think he did most of it in a what's it called, iframe. So a lot of it's code that you can't do within the FedWars structure. So he's got some cool stuff on that page. And of course, it's run by Jag. He's a solid guy. Got a lot of good role players over there. Our own Dr. Summeroff is there with what's your worker over there, Scott? Mumra.
Yeah.
Mighty Elia.
Who else is over there, Scott? Who does he have on the roster?
He's got a lot of good. He signed a lot of good role players there. Got Dom Jacobs there. PT Merciless is there when he shows up.
That sounded personal, Summeroff. That wouldn't have anything to do with what's going on with you right now, would it?
No, nothing at all. Nothing to do with the fact that he didn't show up this week. But, hey, whatever.
Whatever.
Tyler Storm's there. Got a few Jag is there if he decides to RP.
Who?
Wrong Fed.
Jaguar.
Huh? Jaguar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've got some good workers over there. I'm excited to see what he does. I think across the board, all of us are experiencing a little bit of fall off in some of our workers role playing and whatnot. I think it's just a matter of there not being enough bodies to go around for all the feds. I think once we start getting some of the inactive feds closing, and once 3.0 really hits its stride after July 1st, we start doing some more advertising and recruiting from other sites, I think we'll see that problem will probably fade away.
Yeah, we might have a partnership or affiliation with MMA Tycoon. That's not official, but I've been talking to the owner. If you type it in, MMA Tycoon.com, FedWars might become they got about 6,500 active users. So if you translate that, if we get one user for every 100 people, 60 to 100 new users.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, that'd be solid. Even half that, even if we get 30, every little bit helps. So any of you guys listening too, if you know anybody that likes writing, likes wrestling, those are two demographics that you don't necessarily have to like wrestling to start doing this, and you don't have to necessarily be a great writer to start it either. The NGW is, our focus is on helping people become better writers. We've attracted a lot of good writers lately, but that is part of our mission statement, is helping folks to get better. So there's a place in FedWars here for folks that like wrestling, like the idea of e-fedding, but maybe just aren't super confident in their writing skills. You made a couple of notes here as well, Scott, on this. We talked about Kapow closing and the Pony Fed going inactive. And we talked about the awesome possibilities for what Prevail is going to do. You got a couple other feds marked here. ICW. What's your thoughts on ICW right now?
ICW is kind of going through, I don't know what's going on there. It's a bit of a change. They've kind of lost a worker or two here and there. And it's kind of the owner kind of dropped out for a while. He seems to be back now, and things are kind of getting back on good footing. But this was once a really, really strong Fed. It's just kind of interesting to see what happens if the people who work the Feds aren't seen as engaged. What happens with the workers?
Yeah, it's probably a good lesson for Summeroff and I to keep an eye on. It's just, I think we've done a pretty good job of trying to be out there with you guys and make sure we're posting to the forums, make sure we're posting to the role play board, we're putting up good results. But you guys aren't seeing us as being disconnected at all. I don't think anybody could make that case. So, hopefully we won't have to go through that same bumpy road as ICW.
I don't know if it was necessarily a disconnect, but it's just I think Dylan got tied up with his real life stuff. And just kind of the Fed kind of sank a bit for a bit, but it looks like it's coming back. Still a good Fed.
And then the last Fed we wanted to talk about real quick was the WFW.
Good.
Wow, you got to do something about those guys. They're scamming the system bad.
Yeah, we won't.
You got about 5 workers in there, and 4 of them belong to the owner. And I mean, you got Feds like NGW and PWA and a couple of the others there that are probably losing potential contracts to this guy.
Yeah, it doesn't look too much like it so far, but yeah, I mean, he made that post to the free agent board last week about, hey, nobody sign up for my Fed because I'm $250,000 in the hole with 5 workers. It baffles me how he could be that far in the hole. I just don't get it. Like 5 workers.
He gained fans though. He still gained fans.
I mean, from what you were saying, Lau, what he cranked
his fan. We lost one last week.
He cranked his advertising.
What's that?
From what I understand, you were saying something about maybe he cranked his advertising way up.
Yeah, he put it on 100%. Okay, so that's why he's in the hole.
So we can still do that even when we're in the hole. We can just throw 100% on the advertising and just keep going.
Yeah, but you're not going anywhere. You're not going to be going anywhere. You're just going to keep losing money and money and money. You're not going to be able to sign workers. You're not going to be able to. You're not going to gain fans because you're not going to have workers. So you're not going to be able to run events, and you're just going to be sitting there.
Yeah, I mean, if you picture, there's never a situation where you turn on the TV and every commercial you see is WWE, and every newspaper ad you see is WWE, and every banner on the internet you see is WWE. I mean, it's just not realistic to do 100% advertising. I mean, there's got to be diminishing returns at some point. $100,000 is a lot to drop.
Yeah, the only Fed that could actually do that right now, or maybe 2 Feds, would be ECWC is definitely a Fed that could easily do that, and I think they're doing that. I don't know if they're actually doing that. And then ICW would be another Fed that they possibly could do. Having the funds and having the fans to pull it off. Yeah, I mean, ECWC is definitely a Fed that's not hurting on money. Let's put it that way.
Sure. Well, to be fair, they've earned it. They've been around forever. They've had good guys go through their Fed, whether you like how they run it or not. They've been around for a long time, and they've paid their dues, sacked away the money. So,
yeah, I like ECWC actually. I got a worker there. I mean, hey, no Fed's perfect, but these guys, they write pretty good results and they put in a good effort. I think they've earned pretty much what they got.
As long as you can stand EC or CWO owners.
Well, most of the time I can't understand a word he's writing anyway, so it doesn't matter.
So easy to ignore him. Yeah. All right, well, we'll move right along from the Fed Wars news and actually get into our own NGW stuff. Lau, you're welcome to stay with us and listen along if you'd like. If you want to chirp in, feel free. If you'd like to sit back and listen, you're welcome to do that as well. And if you want to split, it was nice having you on.
Yes, I think I'll stick around.
Cool. Excellent. Good to have you. So let's get into the NGW stuff. Vince, who's probably been sitting quiet watching the Royals game, we'll finally have some stuff to talk about here. Feel bad for the poor guy joining us and missing so many innings of his game. First things first, we got a bunch of new workers in NGW since maybe not since the last Insider, but we didn't talk about it at the last Insider. First, probably our newest signing is Sarah Stone. Did you go after her, Scott, or did she request a contract? Or
I think I sent her one. I think that was on me. I sent that one. I'd seen her in a couple other Feds and thought she'd make a good addition to ours. She role plays pretty consistently and is pretty active. That's kind of what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, this is her first event she's been booked in for us, and she dropped 3 RPs in like 2 days.
Yeah, the first 2 I thought were pretty good. That third one I was was kind of confused a bit by that one, but overall, yeah, three. What's that?
I think the third one came out in like an exact response to me, because I posted mine and then like 5 minutes later that one was up.
I mean, if she wrote it in 5 minutes, that would explain it.
It's too many words for 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I think
It's well
too.
written. I was just, I was a bit, I wasn't sure where she was going with it.
Yeah, I didn't have quite like I think you said, Scott. It didn't have the payoff. It felt like it was building up to. So, but she did a good effort. I think this was a case. This is one of those cases of less is more. That it might have been better to just quit while you were ahead. But we do appreciate her being that active. I mean, I think that's the first time we've had any of our workers go 3 RPs for an event.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen 3. Did 6 drop 3 RPs? Or maybe 2. Not sure.
6, yeah. So also another female wrestler we signed, Scarlett Rose, has been putting up some decent RPs too. I've kind of liked her, perky, enthusiastic, fresh-faced wrestler gimmick she's got going. Did you read her most recent RP events?
Yes, I did.
What did you think of that last one with the purse snatcher?
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I didn't read it all the way through. I skimmed through it, but I liked it. It was something that, it actually kept me reading, kind of. I was reading it at work, so.
Fair enough.
That's pretty much where I read all mine, too.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, but I don't sit in front of a computer like some people.
Reading, yeah, fair enough. So I guess her character has got a background in gymnastics, and so she's coming at it with like being an agile high flyer. So yeah, I think she's going to do just fine, man. The RP was pretty damn good for hiring her, not really knowing much about what she's done before. So I was a little bit hesitant to hire female workers, and not because they're gals, but just because I've always got a little hung up over the realism of having girls fight guys. I mean, you put somebody the size of Scarlett Rose in the ring with somebody like Big Ed Sweeten, and I think the outcome would be pretty well determined before the match even started. But I don't know, man. Sarah Stone and Scarlett Rose both have done a very good job role playing. So I guess me and Summeroff will just have to work on our writing, figure out how to do it, get more creative. Then we got Sir Lionel Montebar. That is Formal's new character. Formal previously was running Ken Paisao and just couldn't get anywhere with the character. So we let him kind of reboot with a new character. Ken Paisao was sent back to Japan, gave him a pink slip and sent on his merry way. But man, he's doing some interesting stuff with Sir Lionel Montebar, and it sounds like he's really excited about it too. Anybody else read that role play he put up?
That was an insane RP.
Yeah, I still got to get to that one. I probably already should have read it by now. Just finishing off Vince's, but in order to do the endings for the upcoming Battle Royal for Hump Night 4, I should probably get to that role play sooner than later.
Yeah, fair enough. What did you like about it, Vince, or did you like it?
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was awesome. It actually grabbed me. I sat there and forgot what I was doing when I was reading it because, I was just like, wow, really?
Yeah, it's pretty out there, but it's interesting. I like how he drops in little ties into the real world, talking about what's going on, in actual Mount Vernon, Washington at the Lister and whatnot. But he's looking at it through the eyes of kind of a guy who thinks he's a medieval English knight. The other thing I like about it is it's just riddled with historical inaccuracies, and Formal's explanation for that is not like, hey, I just got lazy and didn't want to wiki it. It's that the guy's schizophrenic. He doesn't know any better. In his head, that's the way things were. So that really opens up Formal to writing this guy however the hell he wants. He could have his knight battling ninjas in his mind for all it hurts the realism of it. This is what this guy thinks is going on in his head. So that's
a likely story. He was just too lazy to wiki it.
Yeah, I think so too.
But let's go with the other one because it sounds better for the
Yeah, it
Fed.
does. Fair enough.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, the thing what was I gonna say? The only thing I have a question about on that is how the hell did we get past the fight commission, letting somebody who's that mentally ill get in the ring and battle?
And wear plate armor.
Indeed,
Bribery.
bribery. That seems like the kind of
Left a
thing that's frowned
briefcase on
upon.
somebody's desk.
Yeah, for sure. And the last guy that signed since last time we talked about new wrestlers is Otto, controlled by Anon123. Oh, I mean the King, not Anon123. He is a worker that used to own a car dealership and apparently went bankrupt. And because of his background in backyard wrestling, decided maybe that'd be a viable career path. But apparently he's also tied in with the criminal organizations and whatnot. Has anybody seen this guy's RPs anywhere else? Because I haven't.
I have. Back when I had a worker in DCW, when Otto first started out, I saw a few role plays there. They weren't too bad. Otto, role play, dude. Do it.
Yeah, seriously. That's the only
Got it in you.
It's kind of a bummer he hasn't dropped anything yet. He had all last week for this event. I can't imagine. We put out a pretty sizable motivation for our workers this last week. So, I know some of the guys had some real life stuff going on, and I can totally understand that. But for the folks that didn't check in, I just don't get how you don't RP when the world title and 10 grand in Fed bucks is on the line.
I'd have to agree with that. I know I RP pretty quick.
Yeah, indeed. It's free money, man.
Yeah, I put up that 10 from Boozy's insurance settlement from Kapow there. So I don't know.
There's
it was
nothing
there.
like taking money from Dr. Summerall.
That's right. Free money.
There you go. Well, I missed a guy
from Kapow.
because of the page break on the outline here. We also signed Joey Ace Adams just this last week. The guy doesn't have a profile pic yet. He does for his worker, but he's pretty new to Fed Wars from what it looks like. I haven't seen anything from him yet, so we'll see how he turns out. The NGW is a place where everybody can get started in Fed Wars, so I'm excited to see what he does.
We'll get him in there.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him. Well, Hump Night 3 was kind of nuts. Me and Summeroff were working on writing the results to that till the last hour, I think, right, Summeroff?
Yeah, that took a long time to write these.
I think there was one segment.
I hope somebody's reading them.
Yeah, I hope so too. I heard through the grapevine, some of you guys aren't reading the whole results, and it sounded like last week there was a possibility that someone who shall remain nameless read their match, saw at the end that they were fired, and then just kind of walked away from the results, like not reading through the rest of the story. So, with later on down the line, when we introduced Summeroff coming back from the ER and unfiring Harlem Halliday and Damian Stone and Conrad Blatz, that they didn't see that happen. So I'm hoping we didn't piss anybody off with that firing.
Yeah, maybe we wrote those results too good. I don't know.
We were too convincing.
But just to the NGW roster, read the whole thing, or at least read the end. Usually there's a summary of some kind there, and you see that.
Well, and if nothing else, you've been really good about like the next day getting on there and updating that news section on the front page, kind of recapping what happened at the last event. It's been kind of fun to read those. The way you word them is pretty entertaining.
Yeah, even read those.
Something though.
Whole event. Read the summaries.
I spent 3 or 4 hours last night making that news section expandables, just so I could stop Scott from breaking my layout every time he posts news. So hopefully he'll be able to keep up on those, and he won't have to worry so much about limiting how he says it. So. And
you put up a new top 5.
I did put up a new top 5. That's another thing that you guys can expect to see updated more frequently now. The way that sucker's made, it's much easier to switch those pictures. Any of us can do it, and any of us can do it from anywhere.
So you want to show me how?
Yeah, it's easy.
Let me know sometime.
Yeah, it's Kate.
And you might want to change Kodo here too on the front page.
What happened to Kodo now?
Well, he's still showing up as having the Die Hard title.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I hit refresh.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, I know what happened.
It's all real.
Yeah, I know what happened.
There.
Okay, well, we'll fix that tomorrow.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure enough, he does. Oh, it's just because I haven't done it yet. There's the problem. Go figure. Okay, well, I'll get that fixed. Anyway, so make sure you guys read the results. Me and Scott put a shit ton of work into writing those results and making sure they're consistent from beginning to end. When you read those things, hopefully they kind of read like a little book or a little novel. I mean, the idea of them is that there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and stuff happens early that affects stuff later. Like, we try real hard to bring in stuff from you guys as RPs. I mean, we do our best to make it a consistent story. So you want to read the whole thing. It's not like you would open a book and just read chapter 4 and then close the book and walk away feeling like you read the book. So check out those results. They can be a little lengthy sometimes. God knows this next one's going to. What no? How many words are we at now, Summeroff? Last time I
don't
checked,
know.
Oh man, it was something like 4,000 words for the match
Yeah.
only, and we'd only eliminated 3 people.
Yeah, that's going to be a monster, that battle royal. We've got 15 workers in there to write it. It's coming along okay so far, though, I think.
Yeah, I'm actually, the way we're writing it, just to give you guys a little behind the scenes, the way we do our results, we typically have a Google Doc running. Me and Summeroff both have access, and if there's anybody else involved in the writing of the event, they have access to. And we initially chip up the matches a bit, so I'll take one, Summeroff will take another, we'll do segments, what have you, and we'll just pound them out. And then we both go back over each other's and clean them up, find things that might sound better, fix grammar and spelling mistakes. But then there's other times where we'll take a match, and between me and Summeroff, we'll literally write it alternating lines the whole way through, and I think it really helps the conversation of the event or the segment. Makes it sound like it's 2 people talking instead of all the lines coming from one guy's head. So anyway, yeah, we're working on that. We'll be working on that crazy role play, I'm sure, till the end of the day tomorrow too. But it'll get done. We've never had to postpone one of our events yet. So got close last week though.
Yeah, I think we were literally down to like the last hour.
We had that last segment that was RDJ and Sweeten confronting Isaac Hartgrave at the vending machines again. I was going to go finish it. I knew it was going to take 15 minutes. I was at home, and I told my wife, hey, I need to do this real quick. I'm going to log on and just finish this segment. And she goes, no, it's dinner time. Please don't get on there. And I'm just madly typing at my keyboard, messaging Scott. Scott, please, if you get this, finish the segment. I'm not going to be able to get to it. And sure enough, I logged back in right after the deadline, and he'd gotten it done. So yeah, it was down to the wire.
Yeah, it was close, but we got it done.
Indeed. So let's see. But anyway, Hump Night 3 was pretty nuts. So some of the stuff that happened. Did you read? You read through the whole results, right, Vince?
Yes.
Was there anything that stood out at you as like your favorite or most interesting thing that happened at Hump Night 3?
I'm gonna have to say it was pretty much Vince's reaction to Kodo's trying to coerce him during the week and coming into the ring. I didn't see that coming at all, and then there it was. I was like, oh.
Yeah, so when we did that, me and Summeroff talked about it a little bit. Originally, Isaac Hartgrave was going to be turning on Kodo, and just through some of the conversations we had, we decided we didn't want to take away Kodo's only real ally in the NGW. He's done some good RPs with them, and who knows, if Kodo doesn't show up for the next event, maybe we'll yank Isaac from him, but we wanted to leave that option open for him. So the next most logical person we thought was Vince. With how Kodo is trying to get in his ear to manipulate him, our impression was that Vince wouldn't particularly have cared for that, although it is a little outside of Vince's character. So as an honest assessment, Vince, having Vince do what he did and being outside your character, was that something that, threw you off? Is it something that's going to help you write Vince a little differently, or is it something you would have rather we hadn't done?
I'd say it's something that, you guys did it good. It worked in, it played in good and everything. And Vince, it wouldn't necessarily not do it. It's just not a normal thing for him to do. And I think I hit that pretty well in my first RP, where he's kind of questioning himself, but ultimately, it fizzles out and it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I think you played that real well in your role play. Kind of explained how it wouldn't have been something his character necessarily would have done, but you explained the circumstances behind it and how Vince would have felt about it very well in your role play. So that was pretty cool, I thought. I know we wrote it, Scott, but was there something about Hump Night 3 that you either really enjoyed writing or just enjoyed how it turned out?
Yeah, I really liked how it turned out. I guess as far as writing it goes, I liked writing the ending there, where Summeroff comes back and rehires RDJ's fired workers and sets the stage for the Battle Royal.
I remember when we were writing it, I knocked out the wrap up where RDJ came out at the end of the event and was kind of ranting and raving, and Conrad Blatz got canned and whatnot. And I remember you saying, how much you liked it, and I really liked how you then carried that on into Summeroff's appearance and what happened after that. How you tweaked that ending. That was real good. Turned out really nice.
Yeah, I find actually when we're writing it, we seem to have a good handle on how each of us writes, which is really good, because I wouldn't be able to do this on my own. So it's kind of good when you read the event. It's very hard to tell where one begins and where the other one starts writing, right? So
yeah, well, that would be the goal. That'd be the goal anyway. I know when I write Summeroff for some of your characters, you brought in Boozy, and then I think Abishag was in early on. I know I had a little bit of trouble with them, but between the two of us looking it over each other's stuff, I feel like it comes out, and it'd be hard to tell who wrote what, like you said.
Yeah, sometimes I got a lot of workers going in Fed Wars right now, so between that and writing for the NGW and everything, sometimes it gets mixed up. But I think for the most part, it's pretty good. Yeah. Got to drop a worker or two at some point, though. I'm not sure which ones yet, but sometime this summer I got to get rid of some so I can focus on the Fed a little more.
Yeah, I can't imagine how you run so many guys. I got one guy in another Fed, and I just don't know if I'm going to be able to keep doing it. So
I got one guy.
Yeah, it's you, the man. You're the man, Flint.
I got 6.
No kidding.
Don't ask me how I got the 6th.
You're nutty.
I know exactly
Carefully
how you
guarded
got the
secret.
6th one. I know how you got the 6th one. I was there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. The trade secret. Now I can't delete any of them because then I won't have 6 anymore.
Oh, that's right. You got that. You scored that extra worker. The only man in Fed Wars with 6 workers.
The only one was 6.
So we got this Hump Night 4. At the end of Hump Night 3, RDJ announced a match, a battle royale for the World Championship. Everybody in the roster for the NGW that was capable of fighting is involved in this battle royale. And as Scott was saying earlier, Brother Boozy puts up $10K to the winner out of his insurance fund from the closing at Kapow. So going into this battle royale, I know we got a couple of people that are maybe character-wise or storyline-wise may not be as well set up as some of the others for this event. As far as Vince goes, Flint, when you were writing Vince, what was the condition of his ribs going into this event?
Going into this event, he had a dislocated shoulder going into the beatdown by Sweeten. Well, no, after the beatdown by Sweeten. And but he's had 2 weeks since then to heal. Thank you, Scott. And now his ribs...
Miracles happen in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, his shoulder's not bothering him as much. Would say his ribs are still a little sore and whatnot. Not as sore. He's going to be able to do a lot more.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
threw the beat down that in there. I'm just,
we'll see. We'll see how you do after this battle royale, Vince. I think we plan on hurting you again. We'll see.
oh, thanks.
Put you back in the hospital.
As long as
Oh,
Sweeten
crack his
doesn't look
neck
at me
next
like I'm a
time.
cupcake.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean this is we're on EFED time here in NGW. Things move fast. People heal quick. We'll be okay.
Miracles.
And then Kodo took a beating from Sweden last week, with RDJ ordering 2 Bundy splashes, basically pancaking Kodo into the mat and leaving him in pretty bad shape. So I'd imagine coming out to the Battle Royale, he's going to be less than 100%.
Don't forget the chair shot.
And the chair shot from Vince, that's right. Yeah, between getting his head cracked open and getting 2 Bundy splashes, he's not going to be at his best, that's for sure.
Yeah, Kodo's like I would say he's like the real villain as far as N2W goes. This is the guy that people would really want to see get hurt.
I mean, up until RDJ's turn, he was really the main villain. You know, Sweeten's not a nice guy. He's a bully and he pushes folks around, but he's kind of that bad guy in like almost the evil henchman kind of a way. He's not necessarily the person you would expect to be the evil mastermind. And other than that, I mean, we hadn't had a whole lot in the way of people stepping up to being like the prime heel here in NGW, except Kodo. I mean, he really filled that role well. So I think we could feasibly see him stepping back into that role should RDJ ever, drop the heel act. Or maybe somebody else can step up and do it. We'll see.
They just got to get RDJ back on the sauce.
On the sauce.
Vince is a lot bigger
ever
than
since he gave
RDJ. We could just shove it down his throat.
There you go.
That's right. Just hold him and tip it down. Ever since RDJ stopped drinking, it's all gone downhill from there.
And
I liked him better when he was a drunk.
Well, now Summeroff's back though to put out the fires. So hopefully Summeroff can right the ship. Also, this is our first. I mean, we've had Brittany Simone was in a match with Vince and a match with Harlem Holiday earlier, but now we've got 3 female wrestlers involved, so it's going to be real interesting to write them into that battle royale. Try to make that realistic. Otherwise, I would say if you didn't role play this last week, your odds of winning this battle royale are pretty freaking slim.
Yeah, they're next to none. If you don't role play, you're definitely going into the bottom half. Yeah, as far as the 3 women wrestlers, though, that's been a bit of a challenge. Just trying because you got 2 500-pound wrestlers in this match with Ed Sweet and Lulu Biggs, and trying to figure out how to write it in such a way that a female would have a chance against such a man.
Well, the lady wrestlers can actually have an advantage in this because if you take somebody like Vince can actually kind of do some damage to Sweet, and if they can capitalize on that, then they can win. They can beat some of these guys.
Yeah, I think another thing that's I think it's going to play to their benefit in this match is that there's so many people in it. You're not going to see Brittany Simone necessarily cornered by an Ed Sweeten and a Lulu Biggs. I mean, there's 15 people. Everybody's worried about what everybody else is doing. We might see some people team up. We might see everybody go for themselves. But there's enough targets that I would say it'd be unlikely that we would have to worry too much about like a Brittany Simone or a Scarlett Rose ending up going one-on-one with an Ed Sweeten. And if they do, I mean, that could be an interesting part of the story, but it is a challenge to write. I mean, now that we're about halfway through it, it's been a lot of fun, but there's been a couple of weird speed bumps that have come up already. So let's wrap this thing up. Just a couple of cleanup things. Just a reminder to everybody: if you need help with your RPs, you want somebody to proof them, you just want to bounce some ideas off us. Stop in the IRC. Stop in the chat. Somebody's usually in there, whether it's me or Summeroff or both of us or Vince or Formal. Somebody's usually chilling around in the chat. Feel free to drop your ideas on us. You can hit us up in a PM with a Google Doc link. We'll swing by and take a look at it, me or Summeroff. I mean, we want to help you guys get better. So if that's something you think you could use, hit us up. Also, if you have any suggestions that you think would make the NGW better, if you have any ideas or you have any storylines you think might work cool, hey man, PM us, put them on the forum, talk to us, come to the chat. We may not use it exactly the way you present it to us because we do want you guys to have some surprises. But man, I'll take any ideas I can get. I'm not going to turn down a free idea.
I think I've already thrown a good idea at you that is materializing slowly.
That's a good example. You saw another one of our hires recently wasn't a worker, but was Monica. Is it Monica Strife?
Yes.
Yeah, she took your last name or not?
Yes,
Monica Strife, Vince Strife's wife, is going to be coming on in a staff role with the NGW, so that could play out into some cool stories coming up. You guys will see that materialize more over the next couple weeks. It has already started in some of Vince's RPs, so. But she's actually a member of the roster, so you'll likely start to see her in segments and whatnot as well. And then I got some great ideas for Harlem Holiday yesterday night too. So keep them coming, guys. We want to hear them. If you think you have a cool idea and you'd like to see it happen, talk to us. We're more than happy to try to work it in if we can. And then finally, next week, July the 4th, we're going to take a break. It's going to be a vacation week for NGW. We'll return full force on the 11th with another Hump Night 5.
Is that, are we going to book that in the other arena for that one? Would that be the road trip one?
So my thought on that, here's what we were discussing, guys. We were talking about NGW's first non-Hump Night event other than an inauguration. We were going to do a road trip with the NGW, making a trip out to Jags Stadium. What's that? Where is that thing?
I think it's in this. What's it called there? The Pacific Beach or something along that line.
Well, anyway, it's not in the Pacific Northwest or Northwest United States.
No, it's south.
Yeah, it's in another region. So my only concern with that, and it's something we're going to do.
Southwest USA.
Southwest. We definitely want to do it. My only concern is that until July 1st pops up and we know exactly how the engine is going to be working, I'm concerned that jumping regions is just going to be an expensive and kind of fruitless endeavor. I've seen some of the other feds complain about it, moving to a region where they have no fans and just having zero gate at their events.
Yeah, Lau, want to speak on that? What
would you recommend, Lau, on jumping
What's
regions?
going to happen if we go to the Pacific Beach Forum there? We're going to get like 10 people show up, or?
Yeah, more than likely, yeah. To be honest with you, you're not going to get many. You're not going to get many show up. Okay, I might up it more than just 10, but and I think the problem is there's got to be more. I got to add in smaller venues, not just the user created ones, but just the smaller venues.
Your bingo halls or whatever, bars
yeah,
and stuff. Yeah,
something that charges you $250 a night to host your show there, and you might only get 75 people showing up, but you turned a profit on that end, but you'd probably break even or lose some money depending on I mean, if you advertise, you're probably going to get if your advertising campaign does good, you're going to probably you could get anywhere from probably, I don't know, 250 to 500 people if you have no fans there, depending on how much you advertise, of course.
Sure. So would that be your recommendation then? If we're jumping feds, make sure we have some money set aside for advertising for that show to bring in some people, just because we don't have the fan base built up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like ICW Emergence, one of their events, actually played to the Pacific Beach Forum here. And they brought in a whopping 81 fans. So.
Yeah, so it's definitely a little bit of a scary prospect, just with how the system is and not having 100% idea of how it's going to work yet. I'd like
to do it anyway.
Yeah, that might just be what it comes down to. Is we'll just sack up and put the money out to do it, just to go support Jag in his new stadium, do something different than Hump Night for a week. So I could see that coming up. I'm not sure if it's going to be that July 11th or it's going to be the week after maybe. We'll make sure you guys know plenty in advance. I mean, it shouldn't really affect how you role play. Well, Maybe it does. I can't say that. I know a lot of my RPs for Rob Oppenheimer tend to tie in the region or the area that we're in. I know some of the other guys have been doing the same thing, so we'll make sure you guys have plenty of advance notice, though. So, I think that does it. Anybody else have anything to add?
I'm good.
Vince is good.
Yeah, I got nothing else.
You got nothing else. And Lyle, thanks for coming, man. It was nice to have you on.
Yep, no problem.
Lyle's we've tried hard to make our chat room a safe place for Lyle. It's not nearly as big of a deal now as it used to be back when HHL and those guys were around constantly trolling all the forums. But no, it's been real cool to have him hang out in our chat room and for all intents and purposes, a member of the NGW. So it's been a pleasure getting to know you, Lyle. Thank you guys for coming, Flint. Appreciate it.
No problem. I'll be on here on a normal basis now.
Excellent. You got a nice new set of headphones coming in that's going to help with that miking, and it'll be good to have you on.
As long as that mic thing doesn't keep dropping down.
Fair enough. Yeah, no technical difficulties. Scott, thanks for coming back on, man. It's been a bummer to record these without you the last couple weeks.
Yeah, no problem. We'll do a few more of these.
Excellent. Yeah, we need to get you a new mic too.
Yeah, this one's terrible.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us on NGW Insider. Hope you guys enjoy the event tomorrow night. Just know we worked our asses off on it. Make sure you read the whole thing. Even if it is a little bit on the long side, we guarantee it'll be entertaining the whole way through. All right. Well, thank you again. And we'll see you guys around the chat room and see you guys around the forums. Talk to you next week.